All Out Champer, aka the strongest man on YouTube, and things are looking pretty tense between Joey Leilua and the West Tigers. For those who don't know, Joey Leilua was sacked from the club. He was shown the door from the West Tigers, and now he's going to go fight in a boxing match with Chris Hines. And now I want to wish those guys the best and hope they kill it in that boxing ring. But what we're here to talk about is the words that have been said towards the West Tigers and Coach Michael Maguire. But if you do like this video and you like the content that I make sure to like and subscribe. Do all that good shit. I'm trying to build this channel up. We're close to 200 subscribers. You know, most people see that as dog shit. I see that as the holy grail. So let's do it. Let's get to 200 subscribers. And well, without further ado, let's get underway with the video. Joey Leilua, right? Let's talk about his time at the West Tigers. I'm not gonna be one to deny it. He was probably one of our worst players from last year towards this year. When we signed him with a lot of promise and with a lot of hope that he could build some depth and increase our attack in our back line. We took him from Canberra after, you know, the amazing career that he had at the Canberra Raiders. He was absolutely amazing in down there, and we signed him on big money, and we signed him with a lot of promise and hope. You know, he came with his brother, his younger brother, Leilua, and well, he underperformed. That's what I'll say. I don't even think he can deny it as well. He didn't show us. He didn't show us what he was fully capable of, and he didn't play towards our expectations. And honestly, he was overshadowed by younger brother Leilua, who played so much better than Joey. But you know, I was always optimistic. I always thought, you know, maybe give him some time. You know, maybe he just needs the right half to work with him, or maybe he just needs a better pairing. But you know, everything worked, and at some times he just didn't look like he wanted to play. It didn't look like he wanted to play. He looked out of it. He looked unbothered. And once a player looks like that, you just know, all right, he's starting to lose the love for this, and you got to get him out of the team because it's just gonna make things worse. And that happened, and we welcomed younger guns like Tommy Talau into our center position, and honestly, I feel like it was for the best that Joey Leilua was dropped from the club. He was just going nowhere, and you know, I really think I still think he's a great player. You know, yeah, he had a shit time at the Tigers, but that shouldn't define his whole career. I mean, yeah, he kept calling himself the best center in the world, so you know, I understand that if you're calling yourself that, you know, you gotta play towards what you say. You gotta put your money where your mouth is. I mean, you put your mouth where your money. I fucked up there, but what I'm trying to say is, we knew how much of a quality player Joey Leilua was, and he didn't perform to the expectations we wanted to. And I think leaving the Tigers was the best, not only for us, but definitely for him. And I feel like he should get picked up by a club because he is still a quality player. And I know at any other club, he would probably, you know, get back to the standards that he was at. But after leaving the West Tigers, it wasn't leaving on good terms. In fact, it was leaving on pretty shit terms, and we're gonna get right into that. So where this whole back and forth between Joey Leilua and the West Tigers started, it started on an Instagram story that Joey Leilua posted, and it was towards an anonymous Wide World of Sports reporter for publishing an article that was false. You know, said that he was, you know, he was on a train and trial contract or something like that, and he was basically calling me out on his bullshit. So I respect him for that. He also wrote at the bottom, and this is where things get pretty tense: I wouldn't want to play for a coach who always blames the players but never himself. #Madge. Wow. Like, Joey Leilua, man. I mean, he didn't hold back. He wanted everyone to know who he was talking about. So, you know, it's one of those moments where you think, oh, damn. Well, something obviously happened between those two. And, you know, maybe you thought maybe things would die down after that. It was just a lot of frustration, you know, someone talking bullshit about him, you know, posting something that wasn't true. And whoa, he then comes out and says this. Let me just pull it up right here. I am a person where I've come to clubs and you speak up when something is wrong. And there were plenty of things going wrong at that club. I spoke up and it kind of like got me in trouble. When I played in Canberra, we all spoke up. Didn't matter if you had 2 games, 1 game, or 0 games. If you trained with us in pre-season, you had a say in the team. But we didn't have that at the West Tigers. Wow, that was brutally honest. So where do I stand on this little feud between Leilua and the Tigers? I understand Joey Leilua's frustration. I understand it, all right? And I don't blame him for saying what he said. Now listen to me when I say this, all right? I've been seeing everywhere on Instagram saying, you know, everyone bagging him out for what he says, saying, oh, you're a shit player, you know, you weren't that good, you shouldn't have a say, you know, you should have just played better. And yeah, I don't think he can deny, I don't think even he can deny that he was shit at the Tigers. He didn't play to the best, to what he thought he could play. You know, saying he's the best center in the world, and he probably didn't play as what the best center in the world would play as. But keep in mind, there is 2 sides to a story, you know? While yes, I do think that the problem, I mean, the reason for the West Tigers' failure this year was more the players than Madge. I'm not gonna deny that Madge does have his faults, and maybe this is where one of the issues between the players and Madge were. You know, he didn't give the players a chance to speak up. Every time he did, it get them in trouble. That's why Joey Leilua was saying this. You know, this is something we need more. We need players to speak up about their experiences at clubs, because we just think that when they get let go, most of the time it's on good terms. For this case, it wasn't, and you know, differently now, someone's speaking up and saying it. So I respect Joey Leilua for saying that. You know, he's not gonna cop this bullshit. You know, bloody. If this is true, what he's saying, you know, he never get a chance to speak up, and when it did, it gets him in trouble, and he gets sacked from the club. He wants everyone to know, well, you're always wondering why the West Tigers haven't made the finals in 10 years. His could be a real big factor towards it. So, you know, I respect him for doing that. And honestly, I reckon a lot of other people would want to do that as well. If you're copping bullshit like that, and then you're getting the finger pointed at you saying that this is all your fault, you would want to speak up. So I respect Joey Leilua for doing that. And it's going to be interesting how the Tigers, or even Madge, replies back to this, because obviously they're going to say something, or someone's going to say something, or someone's going to be reported. And it's going to be interesting how they, you know, what they say back, saying, oh, you know, he's just talking out of his ass, it's all bullshit, or, you know, I will admit some of this happened. You don't know what could be said. You know, maybe even players might even side with Leilua on this one. But I think what we have to understand is we're looking from an outside perspective. We don't really know fully what's happening in the lockers. We really don't know what's happening in the sheds between the players and Madge. We honestly don't know. All right, we only find out from what we hear from other people. And as we see with the wide world of sports reporter, some things can get twisted. So, you know, it's interesting to hear this sort of stuff come from players instead of, you know, reporters, because you never know, things can get twisted. But like I said, Joey Leilua could be right, or he could be talking out of his ass. Honestly, we just have to wait till the West Tigers come back with their response. And let me tell you, man, this is going to be really interesting, all right? And as a Tiger supporter, it's shit seeing this, because, you know, I had high hopes for Leilua. Obviously, that didn't work out. And if this is really what's happening at the Tigers, what Leilua is saying, then yeah, maybe there really has to be some more changes to happen. I'm telling you, man, the system, it's got to be the system. 10 years, man. If this is really what's been happening for 10 years, I think we see a huge problem now. But what I also want to add is, how awkward would it be for Leilua to go into training, to face Madge after the shit that's been said right now? I can imagine it to be pretty awkward. But other than that, I think that will wrap up this video. Give me your guys' thoughts on on this whole situation. Whose side are you on? Are you on the Tiger's side or are you on Leilua's side, all right? Or are you in the middle, like me, kind of? But until then, until I see you in the next one, stay safe, stay strong, all out champions.